Today we're looking at Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Beachcomber on Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured back with another Transformers Legacy Evolution review. We're looking at the highly anticipated Deluxe Class Beachcomber with Parakeet release. I got this figure from Hasbro Pulse when he was released last month, and just now getting around to getting the video out for him. But we're going to be quickening the pace on these videos in August, which is basically going to be Marvel Legends month. But we're not dealing with Marvel Legends right now. We're dealing with Beachcomber. I played around with him a little bit, and he's pretty cool. We're going to get into it. So, first off, we're going to look at his package. Pretty nice artwork of him in vehicle mode. The Parakeet flying alongside him. Legacy Evolution. You got your artwork of Beachcomber on the side. You've got your standard sort of half side Autobot side logo, not logo, but you know, artwork. Plastic free packaging, of course. On the back you've got the glamour shot. You get 11 steps, and his Evo fusion mode basically is his gun turned into a front grille piece for the vehicle. Last but not least, we have his QR code with the official sort of tech spec for the character, and that's pretty much it for the packaging. All right, here's Beachcomber with the Parakeet and his weapons already attached. The figure looks cool. He actually looks a little bit more bulked up than I would, you know, he transforms into a Jeep. And he does look kind of bulked up. He looks sort of like somebody with some strength, even though Beachcomber is not a very strong, physically strong character. But I like the look of it. I was very concerned with his scale because, you know, for the last 5 years now, we've been getting figures in scale, and they're starting to slip here and there on scale. And the scale is supposed to be accurate to the G1 cartoon, by the way. We sort of started getting a few characters here and there out of scale slightly, because admittedly the scale can be a little bit subject to controversy, I'll say. First of those figures was Blaster, from my recollection, being as tall as Optimus Prime, and he's not in the show, but you know, that's how they did it. So I was concerned with his scale, but as you will see when I compare him with some other figures, it's not really a concern on this one. So for his articulation, he's pretty well articulated. He can't do a T-pose, of course, because he has wheels on his arms, but you know, otherwise he would be able to. He's got pretty good arm articulation there. His hand and wrist actually articulates, probably due to transformation, even though I don't see why it would be necessary, but we'll see. Obviously swivels here. He's got thigh swivel. His leg can go all the way out, all the way up, and all the way back. And his knee can bend a good 90 degrees. His waist swivels His head, of course, can go all the way around, and he does have a little bit of up and down movement on the head. Not world-breaking up and down movement, but, you know, up and down movement nonetheless. And then, of course, he has the ankle rockers. So, his articulation is pretty cool. Works out pretty good. Then you have his weapon. I have not tried blast effects on it. I'm not sure if it works on there because it looks a little. You may be able to fit him on there on top, but it's the barrel of his so-called gun. It looks a little thin, but we'll see. And then, of course, you have your Parakeet. This is our second Parakeet in as many months because we got Polly last month on the shipwreck figure. Actually, in the same month, if I had done this review last month, it would have been 2 Parakeets in a month. So he's looking good. You know, in the back is more or less like his animation character. And he's definitely a convincing beachcomber. I don't have the Titans Return one. But he doesn't seem that far off from that, you know, just looking at pictures. It just looks like a scaled up version. And I was concerned that he was a little bit too big. But he really is about the correct size. And to that point, so we will post up our buddy Beachcomber there. And we'll compare them to a couple of other mini bots. And actually right here is where my concern sort of was that, wow, he's taller than Cosmos, which made me think he might be like the same size as like an actual, you know, quote unquote Autobot car, like Jazz or Hound or something like that. He is, of course, taller than Bumblebee. To the side. And he is still smaller than Warpath, who also, by the way, might be slightly out of cartoon scale because he was a little bit bigger. He was like almost the same size as Hoist in the show, but again, there is a little bit of fluidity with mini-bot scale. And then we'll use our average size Autobot Deluxe car, Jazz. And he is shorter than Jazz. And even Warpath is still shorter than Jazz, just by a little bit, but he is shorter. And then the standard bearer for scale, Earthrise Optimus Prime. So, in all those cases, he looks, you know, looks about right. I don't know that Cosmos and Beachcomber shared a whole bunch of time together on screen. And Cosmos really wasn't that big. He was rather small, but he was bigger than Bumblebee. So they did that correctly too, right? So there you go. So we looked at his scale, we looked at the articulation, and now we'll get him transformed and check him out in alt mode. All right, so we've got Beachcomber in vehicle mode. And I gotta say, his transformation is pretty cool. It's not that difficult to do, nothing really hard about it. But I will say that we are well and truly into the tab era of Transformers. Lots of tabs to tab up to make sure they, everything sticks. But otherwise, no big deal. He does roll well, as you might expect with the large wheels that's on the figure. So he's a dune buggy, so there you go. And Parakeet can plug into the holes on his arms here, on either side. And then of course, his gun becomes a grill, which of course, if you took it off, it would be accurate to the toy, because the original G1 toy did not have a grill. So that's cool. So, alt mode's pretty decent. Rolls nice. And, I've seen pictures of it. It does seem a touch out of scale with other vehicles in vehicle mode. But, can't have everything. The fact that it functions well, rolls effectively, to me is probably a win in and of itself. So there you go. Bumblebee. That's Bumblebee. Beachcomber in vehicle mode. So I'm getting him transformed back up for final thoughts. Final thoughts on Transformers Legacy Evolution Beachcomber. I like this figure. I like him a lot. I'm very glad to have him in the collection as we continue getting all the 84 and 85 and 86 mini bots. He's not gonna have a whole lot of reusage, but I'm sure they'll figure out a way to reuse them. There was a Generation 2 version with the vacuumized metal kind of green. But they haven't done anything with that. Warpath would qualify for that. Bumblebee would qualify for that, but they haven't done those decos yet. In fact, Warpath hasn't even been used for anything besides Warpath so far. Cosmos too, actually. So, there is the Generation 2 sort of potential repaint for him. But otherwise, he's pretty much an all original figure, and I'm glad to see it. For me, I'm gonna give this figure a 9 out of 10. He's really good. He poses well. Vehicle mode is fine. Actually rolls, no issue. And I think it's nice that they gave him the Parakeet from the Golden Lagoon episode. All right, so that's gonna do it for Beachcomber here. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you do enjoy the content and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It does help the channel. And if you are a subscriber, thanks for all the support. Really means a lot. I'm gonna jump off here, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.